It's a pleasure to be in Sharjah. It's my second time. Has been invited for the Training and Research Institute of the United Nations. It's paramount importance because we work with government officials around the world, and communications, information technology tools are essential in our work with government officials as well as with civil society in order to amplify the message of the Sustainable Development Goals and also the agendas of the United Nations. We are the agency of the UN system, and mostly we cooperate with the government preparing their diplomats to attend every General Assembly of the United Nations. We do training, capacity building, we do updating information for them when they attend the General Assembly, but through the year we do capacity building as needed for all these what we call policy makers, because they are the ones who make decisions on the United Nations. So these decisions reflect on every aspect of the Sustainable Development Goals. For example, in a week from now, a huge delegation will attend the United Nations 79th General Assembly. Probably the high authorities will be there because they will adopt a pact for the future, or the summit for the future is what call it, by mid-September. So for us it's very important to keep the diplomats at the level and a playing field about the methodologies and work of the United Nations. This depends on how the government is represented. Besides the mission itself in New York, normally they go a delegation about 25-30 individuals every year, government officials. But sometimes there are civil society that keep company to them, or other sector of the government, Minister of Education, Minister of Health, Minister of Tourism, and we work with all these government structures around the United Nations. Well, I was just in a panel recently and we were talking about artificial intelligence and all the impact that is creating, all the platforms that exist, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and we were saying that now every individual which have a YouTube channel or subscribe to TikTok, it became actually a new journalist, a new TV channel, and it's a very competitive world. And that the young generations are just born in that era. For us, is not that, how I can say it, is not our time. But for us, it's to prepare those generations to use these technologies in a responsible manner. So the impact they have in the government decisions is extremely important, and they have to be responsible. And that's where training and capacity building comes, because this new generation has to be aware of their responsibility when they plug on those platforms.
And how is...
Well, this is it's a center. I mean, we come together, we discuss policies, we discuss innovation, we discuss the best way to help private sector, public enterprises, government enterprises, government officials. So it's a forum that actually is of paramount importance, and that's why we, when we receive the kind invitation, we come every year, because there is always a new topic or a new element that can help us to deliver better capacity building in New York.
So about this forum, this is my second forum actually. I was here last year, and I got so much impressed by the quality of the presentations, but also more by the fact that everybody, all the way from the national leaders as well to all the very young students, they were so eager and enthusiastic about listening and also learning about other people's knowledge and insights and experiences. That was really fresh and made a huge impression on me. That's why I made sure to be invited this year again as a participant. And I'm so glad that I was able to participate in the deepfake session. One of the things that I think the Sharjah people, including its leaders, are doing so well is to invite and make it so much hospitable and welcome for us, like the visitors and scholars and us, to really make us feel like we are at home. And it's such an interesting and a refreshing emotion to feel it. I mean, people like us, we get invited to all these forums internationally. We go to the world, every place. I mean, it saddens us sometimes when we go there and try to communicate and connect to people, and then there's a wall, right? You go there just as a speaker, and then you do your speech, and then it's done. But in Sharjah, it's never the case. In Sharjah, we associate and network with people from the government to universities in Sharjah, and also the other participants and visitors too. So it's such a hospitable, welcome environment, and I think that differentiates this forum to other forums that I've been to. So I'm, again, very honored and glad to be a part of this forum again this year. And I do my best to inform my fellow citizens and fellow experts in Korea so that they will be inclined to actually come to here and share their experiences more. So again, all in all, 100%. So in terms of the government communication in my country, Korea, there are of course a lot of advanced systems and technologies and modalities, and there are different institutions that are responsible for doing the communication. But I think, again, I think Koreans have to learn a lot from Sharjahans too, because this is probably the only forum in the world which focuses on government communication, because we live in a world where the roles of the government are more expanded than ever before. The government leaders has to take upon themselves great senses of responsibility, but sense of responsibility is not enough. You have to actually also have knowledge and also turn the knowledge into actions to communicate effectively with the citizens. And the purpose of the communication has to be about ensuring essentially the safety and well-being of the citizens, right? So in that sense, I think Sharjahans actually are way ahead of a lot of other peoples, including Koreans, in making sure that that's one of the priorities of the government. That governments can do many wonderful things, but unless it is effective in communicating that to its citizens so that there's mutual trust between the citizens and the government, I think a lot will be lost. So I would like to congratulate the Sharjah people and its leadership and people like you in the media industry for that effective communication that is already taking place in Sharjah. So again, you asked about us in Korea, but I'd like to actually answer back how really amazingly good the people in Sharjah are doing with this respect. So I came here in two roles, one as a distinguished professor of a particular university called Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology, and also as a member of the Korean Presidential Committee on Digital Platforms. So I came in two roles. So to answer you with the particular university, as far as I know, there's still a lot to be done for academic institutions cooperations. And that's why right now, even though there's a presidential level bilateral strategic relationships that have been developing between the UAE and the Republic of Korea, all the way at the top. But so there's a whole lot of networking connections and cooperation for defense, for space, for AI, for digital health, everything, except there's no higher learning university to university cooperation, as far as I know. So there may be some, but not as a showcase, very significant ones. So I'm trying to actually start things like that between the university where I'm a professor and the University of Sharjah. So between the two universities, there was a chancellor to chancellor MOU, which was signed in February of this year. So I'm doing my best to deepen and broaden that communication. It's great that Sejong Institute, which is the Korean government Korean language education institute, is now hosted at University of Sharjah. The regional headquarters for the Middle East, whole of Middle East actually, is now hosted in Sharjah. So I think Koreans, and including the university where I'm a professor at, should actually try our best to make the best use of that existing relationship in the language education, but use that to expand and deepen the academic collaboration between universities such as University of Sharjah and Science University where I am at. But my intent is to not just stop there, but to promote this and let other people know that other universities can then also find their own counterparts between Sharjah and also in Korea. It doesn't have to be just one university to other university. It can be a multi-point to multi-point collaboration. So I'm envisioning a future like that, and I'm very honored to be a small part of in making that happen. So in government communication systems, there are countless possibilities for AI. It'll I mean, in the case of the procedures and processes, it'll make things much easier for producers to make a credible and high quality video and communication content, right? So there's no denying that there will be AI tools that will make the lives of the producers much easier. And also it'll also start to help create the content in terms of planning too. I mean, what kind of content to make, right? They will aid, suggest some draft materials, some work in progress, some raw materials and things like that. So from the production side of it, AI will be very beneficial, right? But there are also dangers. We talked about the deep fakes just a few minutes ago, and also, but the government has the ultimate responsibility to make sure that it communicates intent to protect the well-being of the citizens, right? So the AI will become a negative force in that a lot of perpetrators will try to use these tools to distort or distort the government communication, or even just create forgeries, right? So I think government will have to continue to invest in technologies, but also educating its own workforce as well as citizens about the risks of the AI, and instead of just relying on other technologies, other AI to fight this bad AI, and that'll happen, and you'll have to invest in that technological solutions too. But instead of just relying on other technologies, you'll have to find ways to strengthen your community, strengthen your culture, strengthen the relationships between people and between the people, and also between people and government, so that there's trust. If there's a suspicious situation, people should be empowered enough to ask about that and challenge the status quo and ask if this is authentic, right? So unless government leaders actually set the examples, it's okay to challenge us. It's okay to ask us. So, and I think even there, Sharjans are doing really great, because I see that people are very empowered to. So as long as governments can ensure that it's not a one-way communication, but it's a two-way communication, there'll always be challenge and response. And I think the government will do very well if they did that. So.